Good morning or good afternoon. Thanks for joining wherever you may be today to this session on CDK SimplePay. My name is Tom Cunningham. I'm the Director of Payments Marketing, and I have the great opportunity to share some more details and insight around our embedded payment solution referred to as CDK SimplePay. Throughout this recording, feel free to submit questions that come up. There will be time for Q&A at the end. We encourage it to be an interactive session. So without further ado, let's jump into this. So today we're going to cover three specific areas. The first is around the embedded payment solution, SimplePay in and of itself. We really built this to be designed for today's modern dealerships, taking into best practices from both a payments perspective and an automotive dealership perspective. Then we're going to take a closer look at SimplePay in action, really from a payments and accounting perspective, how the solution integrates into core CDK solutions. And then rounding it out, we'll look ahead and see what's coming for the remainder of 2025 here and into 2026. So as we jump right into this, I'm going to start off with a little bit of overview. So the origin of SimplePay is really rooted in CDK's, our perpetual pursuit to provide the best solutions and services to dealers. So many of you may be familiar that we had some previous payment solutions with OnePay and e-payments. SimplePay is designed by CDK for CDK to be embedded in CDK. Obviously, payment processing is core to your operations day in and day out. So we felt embedding it directly into the CDK offering was essential to really maximize the value that CDK delivers to you as dealers. And functionality offerings in the roadmap to SimplePay put us in the driver's seat to move forward, to add features, to add functions, to add enhancements, to take feedback without the reliance on third-party partners as we've had to do in the past, or in some cases with just integrated solutions that we don't necessarily have control over. And so the result of that is really the delivery of SimplePay. So developed and deployed by us ourselves, it's part of CDK's offering. It's built by CDK team members with deep payments and industry experience. I represent the marketing side for the payments team, and I have 9 colleagues on the product management side. So we all have deep industry experience, years of it in the payments arena. None of us are native to automotive, but we rely on our arguably thousands of colleagues that are automotive experts to kind of bridge the gap. We learn in each and every day, but we want to bring the best payment experience possible. We designed the solution really from a persona-based approach, really taking into consideration key stakeholders in the transaction process, both on the dealership and the customer side. And ultimately, we're able to deliver rich functionality and features, not only now, but as well as into the future. I'm going to start off here and show you this brief video. It's 75 seconds long, but it encapsulates the essence of SimplePay from all aspects, from a customer coming in to the experience, to the payment, to the satisfaction. So with that, we'll launch the video.
Say hello to CDK SimplePay, the only payment solution built into CDK systems. It's easy to set up, easy to use, and it makes the entire payment process radically simple. With in-store, touchless, and remote payment methods, SimplePay makes it easy for customers to pay their way, putting convenience, customer satisfaction, and flexibility front and center. It simplifies workflows, streamlines payments, and automatically reconciles data, reducing the probability of human error and delivering an enhanced dealer experience. CDK is your central point of accountability for underwriting, onboarding, training, ongoing assistance, and support. Say goodbye to complicated bolt-on payment solutions with CDK SimplePay and say hello to focusing more on your customers and operations. To learn more, go to cdk.com/simplepay.
Now you've seen that video and utilization of SimplePay in action, let's talk about a little bit of, at a glance, what does this encapsulate? So embedded with CDK, we deliver streamlined payments, automated reconciliation, compliant surcharging where available, and an elevated customer experience. a customer from both the perspective of CDK to you as the dealer, as well as a customer experience to your customers that are coming into your dealership. Again, designed by payments professionals to really provide that best-in-class experience from a payments perspective. And last but not least, built and supported by CDK. We are the central point of accountability for all things with SimplePay. So whether it's support, it's service, it's future enhancements, we are working with you in a partnership to ensure that what we're delivering meets the needs of your dealership, not only today, but into the future. Let's take a look at the cornerstones. So in the essence of SimplePay, we've tried to build these foundational elements which encompass the overall experience, starting with simplified onboarding. So throughout the process of, I want to engage in SimplePay, we have what we call payment sales engineers, which are your dedicated resources to assist you in many of these areas. So from an onboarding perspective, there's a merchant processing application, which we take the onus to complete as much as possible. Obviously, we have lots of data about the dealerships, your dealerships. And we want to go ahead and complete that to the most of our ability to send it to you to minimize the effort and time it takes for you to complete. Payment flexibility is absolutely critical, not only from a card perspective, but the ultimate goal is to allow customers to pay in their preferred manner, be it a card, be it a check, be it cash, be it a digital wallet or invite to pay, providing an array of options to really take friction out of the payment process and allow people to transact quickly, easily, and effectively. From a pricing perspective, we really aim to be transparent. All of our pricing proposals start with an evaluation of your current incumbent provider's pricing model to help us understand what fees, what charges are being assessed. And from there, we come up with pricing. We really focus on value. We have the ability to be very competitive, but we feel we offer a superior solution. So we really want to focus on the benefits that we deliver while being competitive in the process. We do offer fully compliant surcharging for 47 states, Connecticut, Maine, and Massachusetts being the three that outlaw them. But for dealers who are interested in reducing much of their burden of transactional fee processing associated with credit cards, we do have the ability to have surcharging in place. We offer a streamlined reconciliation process at the end of the transaction. When batches come in, we automatically create offsetting transactions to reduce the time and the probability of ingesting human error in that last mile of the transaction. And then we offer what we call that concierge experience, again, where CDK is your central point of accountability for all things SimplePay. Some of the key capabilities and functionality that we built into the solution, starting with workflow integration and auto reconciliation, as I just mentioned. So it is embedded in the solution. And when we talk about embedded versus integrated, think built-in versus bolt-on. Perhaps some of you have heard me speak previously. My analogy in the automotive arena is Sirius XM radio. For the last 20, 25 years, give or take, Sirius XM has been included in the head units of almost every radio in vehicles in North America. It doesn't cost anything to be there. It only costs, there's a fee assessed if the customer chooses to utilize it, but it's built in. Now, certainly if you have a vehicle that doesn't, you can get an add-on module, maybe add an antenna, a receiver. It's a little bit more involved, a little bit more kludgy. Built-in is going to be better than bolted on. But same with SimplePay. It's part of that core CDK offering. As I mentioned previously, fully compliant surcharging, obviously we're permitted by law, also takes into consideration state regulations. So certain states have caps on the amount that can be surcharged or specific components of a charge, such as sales tax. We have considerations for all of those to keep you out of harm's way should you engage in a surcharging practice. We offer digital payment requests, invite to pay via text or email, allowing that a little bit of advancement to get engaged, get that customer engaged in the payment process. Certainly contactless payments for customers that are interested in leveraging their Apple Pay, for example, or Google Wallets. All of our hardware is plug and play, and we offer cloud-based EMV terminals. And what that means truly for you is that you can no longer require the customer to have to come to the terminal to make a payment. Traditionally, maybe a customer would come to a specific area and a terminal was tethered to a PC and they would pay there. You can now go about the dealership out to the parking lot. Perhaps it's on site and take a payment with a robust offering of terminals that we have for this. We accept all payment types and also offer stored payment method options. And what that means for both card and ACH transactions is you have the option to offer the customer the ability to store those payment types on file. Now, those are tokenized for security purposes, but they can be repeatedly used without the customer having to provide the information or provide the card each and every time he or she visits the dealership. Again, reducing the friction involved and the time involved in the overall checkout process. And again, we are the single source of accountability. Take a little bit closer look at some of these pieces and parts of our solution in SimplePay as it pertains to both the payment aspect and the accounting aspect. So here's a screenshot of an RO dashboard and Drive service. And so we're looking at the Drive dashboard. We can go ahead and click on an RO number and bring up the details, something many of you who are involved in this are certainly well versed at. As we look at that, we see the detail for that selected RO. And so when we talk about workflow integration, we wanted to ensure that consistency was key. And so in here, you're used to entering the CE command, which will launch your payment screen. And in that case, here in SimplePay, it does exactly that. So entering that command CE brings up that SimplePay interface. I will note briefly here that for SimplePay, regardless if you're a Drive customer or a CDK service customer, the interface is the same. So the window you're seeing would be the same regardless of the CDK platform you're on. SimplePay is SimplePay. And so in this example here, this particular payment window has been populated with the amount due of $42. You'll see in blue, it's the amount to pay. It's $42, nothing's been paid. And you have the opportunity to select a payment method. We have manual card entry, terminal-based bank account, which is ACH, check or cash, which allows you to note that you took cash or a check for the particular payment, or invite to pay via text or email. I will also note that at this point, we have the ability to disable should you want to. A request we get somewhat frequently is we record our phone lines. We do not want to have manual card entry. We don't want that number to be captured on a phone line. So we don't even want to give the opportunity for someone in the dealership to do that. We can go ahead. That's highly configurable. So we go into the card entry aspect, and in this particular example I'm using here, it's where we're actually putting card entry in. And so information about the customer is pulled over from the DMS. The card information is entered into the system to go ahead and make a payment. From there, I'm going to make a partial payment, and just to exemplify how things change. So in this $42 example, we're going to pay $20. And so we see after that $20 payment is made, the balance due has now been reduced to $22. You'll see on the left-hand side that there's a transaction summary showing that payment of $20 that had been made. And in the green box above it on the left shows that $20 payment. That transaction history log will continue to populate as activity transpires to this particular RO. If there was a refund, an additional payment, whether partial or full, all of that would be in a growing history log, always giving you full visibility throughout the payment process. From a refund perspective, of course, embedded in here, I'll be quick to note that the refunds are limited to A, the original payment type, and B, cannot exceed the original amount paid, but can be a portion of. So in this example here, the customers paid $124.30 to a MasterCard. That payment refund, whether full or partial, will go back to that MasterCard and cannot exceed a dollar value of $124.30, obviously protecting the dealer. This is configurable as well by user roles. So if you want certain individuals in your dealership to have this capability, but others not, that is something that can absolutely be configured to meet the operational needs of your dealership. From an accounting perspective, this is exemplifying when a batch comes in. Let's say there were 50 transactions in a particular day. When a batch comes in from SimplePay, you would see 100 entries in that transaction, 50 for the incoming payments that were charged, and then 50 for the offsetting transaction to those 50. And so by us creating automatic offsetting transactions mapped to the accounts of your choice, it allows the folks responsible for reconciliation and settlement to easily take a quick look at it and auto post that. If a change does in fact need to be made to any one of the transactions, certainly the capability exists to do that. But this automation process reduces significantly the probability of human error, and it's a significant time saver for dealerships across the board. So again, trying to focus on the workflow, make things more automated, and and throughout the process being of more value to the folks responsible for these particular aspects. Taking a look ahead, around the corner and down the road. So rounding out 2025, we've got forthcoming Payments Hub, and this is going to be accessible via a unified tile. I'll show you an example in a moment, but it'll provide transaction search, virtual terminal, on-demand receipt delivery, all through that unified tile. So things that are often utilized, very accessible. We've got some new email templates coming, providing customization capabilities for you as dealers, whether it be certainly from a visual perspective, but looking further out in terms of being able to provide offers or specials and things of that nature. SimplePay is also now available to be initiated from accounting, so via the ACC function. So not only just a parts or a service, as I exemplified a few slides ago, but actually invoking a payment from the accounting module as well. Performance enhancements are critical and perpetually ongoing, related to both the speed of the application and the transactions themselves. And forthcoming as well will be the ability to view the RO or the parts number within the SimplePay payments experience. So the SimplePay window itself will be tied back to that original RO for quick and easy reference. So taking a look at this payments tile in Unify, we have the transaction search in the upper left-hand corner. You can search through a number of different parameters. In this case, I use test. If we move to the lower left-hand corner, go ahead and come up with transactions there. Clicking on, I can view or launch SimplePay for any one of those. In the case of the upper right, I want to go ahead and take a look at that particular transaction and what has happened there. And again, a familiar interface with the amount to pay and the amount that has been paid is detailed, as well as the history. And then in the bottom is the ability to go ahead and launch SimplePay from here to collect additional payments for a specific transaction that you are interested in. So again, functionality to really streamline the process of locating specific transactions that you may have to collect additional funds or perhaps refund, take a closer look at, again, working to ease the workflow. This is an example of the payments receipts. We've really tried to streamline the information displayed in terms of what is relevant to the customer, certainly branding available. And as I mentioned, forthcoming will be the ability to add things like specials and coupons and whatnot. But again, a clean interface, providing information about the transaction to the customer. As we look ahead to 2026, we have some exciting things on the horizon. The first being buy now, pay later. Certainly a requested option for folks. We're excited to be bringing that to the market, as well as the potential to add PayPal and Venmo as tendered payment types. Many of you may have seen the recent ad campaigns with Will Ferrell for PayPal, but both PayPal and Venmo have become viable business payment methods. We are investigating incorporating that into the solution as we continue to add features and functionality. From a transaction reporting perspective, allowing you to view and identify trends, anomalies, and other aspects related to payment volume and velocity will be forthcoming, combined with visual analytics via Unify. So not only the raw data, but the visual data via charts and graphs. And another request has been around signature capture. So being able to capture that customer signature to utilize on various documents to conform to your dealership operational guidelines. And then additionally, some other components that we're excited to bring to market in 2026 will be around OCR check imaging or remote deposit capture. So the ability to actually process the check from the SimplePay interface. A chargeback portal. Okay, unfortunately, chargebacks happen, but the chargeback portal will really provide you with notifications. It will bring in the required information to allow you to begin working a chargeback very rapidly, all within SimplePay. AR and AP functionality, extending SimplePay to deliver capability for dealers to both issue and receive payments, and F&I incorporation to process down payments, deposits, and F&I product payments via SimplePay. While in the interim, before we have full integration to F&I, we do have the capability to process F&I via some of our standalone terminal options. So that is in place today. With that is the allocated time I have to run you through, but I'm happy that I have saved a few minutes for questions and answers. So with that, I will open it up for questions and answers. Well, I appreciate your time today. And having attended our session, I've got a couple questions that have come in throughout the presentation that we'll take a crack at answering to. The first one is, does SimplePay support check processing with a guaranteed settlement? At this time, SimplePay does not. One of the things on the last slides here talked about our introduction or deployment of OCR check imaging here coming up in 2026. Once we have that implemented, we will be looking at implementing some check guarantee solutions or a check guarantee solutions to have that capability in place for dealers. I know in a lot of cases it's there today. So something that is forthcoming in 2026, but it will be after we introduce OCR check imaging into the process. Another question here, will this be available in Canada? And the answer is yes. We have SimplePay available in Canada today. We have dealers that are implemented already and a couple that are being implemented as we speak. So absolutely. The only exception is in Quebec, and it deals with the French language there and processing and rules and regulations around how it's translated. But the rest of Canada is absolutely available. Got another question here around, can I use my current terminals? And unfortunately, the answer is no, and that's part of the protection. Terminals are injected with keys that are specific to a gateway that go through with the processor. So we cannot bring terminals to the solution. And a follow-on question to that was, what types of terminals do you offer? And today we have a number of different terminals from both Ingenico and PAX. Most of our terminals have wireless capabilities, allowing you to bring a payment to a customer, be it delivered on, if you're delivering a vehicle on site from a service or perhaps a purchase perspective, or in the dealership. The traditional model would be the customer would come to a centralized location to pay for services. These wireless cloud-based terminals allow you to go ahead and take that terminal to the customer wherever he or she might be located in the dealership or perhaps outside the dealership. I have a question here. How many customers are using SimplePay? Currently, we have several hundred currently installed and actively transacting today. We have a very healthy pipeline of backlog waiting to be installed, and we're doing demos and having conversations multiple times each day about the solution. Some of the initial feedback we've gotten have really centered around the persona-based approach that we employed in deploying this, so that really taking into the user experience from the dealer associate that's leveraging the CDK solution, working with the customer, his or herself, really focused on what does that experience look like and how can we keep the friction at a minimum level to try to accelerate payment and allow that customer to pay in the manner that he or she prefers. And last but certainly not least, lots of positive feedback on the auto reconciliation aspect that we've employed within CDK. It not only eliminates human errors, but it's a big time saver for folks as well. I have another question here. Can I get a recording of this? Absolutely. All of these presentations, mine and the 10 other breakout sessions, as well as the keynote, will be available at the URL cdk.com/connect later today. So I believe you will get an email as well, noting that you will have that capability, but absolutely you can get an email of this. Here's another question. Is SimplePay a bank agnostic and processor agnostic solution for the processing of ACH and check payments? Can we choose the backend provider to settle these payments? Today, the answer is no. CDK has delivered this solution, kind of packaged it up and brought it to market as a CDK solution. Having said that, it doesn't require a change. We get this question quite often, a change to any of your current existing financial institutional relationships. So while the processor that it gets processed through the bank may be different from what you use operationally, certainly all of the payments and transactions that come through can be routed to the same depository institutions that you're using today. So it's one small element, but ultimately at the end of the day, the funds can go to the exact same place they are today, keeping all of your existing financial relationships in place. I do not have any other current questions in queue. If anyone has any, please feel free to pop those into the chat, or if something comes up later, please reach out to us and be happy to entertain those questions. I'll give a couple minutes here. If somebody has a question, they would like to, please pop in. Here, one just popped in. Is this product going to replace SunPost? So as you guys know, likely today we have two current solutions in market. One e-payments from SunPost and OnePay from Global. And currently we do not have plans to sunset either one of those products. So we actually have three. This one is noted was developed, deployed, and serviced completely by CDK, putting CDK as the central point of accountability. And we really wanted to make the focus highlight our ability to deliver best in class, not only products, but services. So at this time, SunPost is not, we have no plans to sunset that or other CDK solutions, but we do believe we provide a superior solution in terms of service and product with SimplePay here. Appreciate the questions. If no one has additional questions, we go ahead and conclude the session. Again, if you do have subsequent questions moving forward or are interested in perhaps seeing SimplePay or seeing how it can impact positively your dealership, please feel free to reach out to us, cdk.com/SimplePay. With that, I thank you very much, and I look forward to chatting with some of you in the future. Thank you so much.